worried about Emerson, but to see him come back, pitch like he did, like you know he could pitch, it's a good thing.
Yeah, that's what we've all come to expect, and you know, I know he was disappointed in what happened last week, and a lot of credit goes to Richmond. I thought they had a really good approach, and you know he wasn't as sharp, but they were really good, and he had some bad luck too. You put all those things together, and you have a rough outing. It can happen to anybody, but that's what we all expect, what we saw here tonight. And it's just really after the first inning, you know, and I'm sure some people are like, oh no. After those first two guys get on base, and then you know, we were able to throw a guy out. We changed the momentum right there. Mason Meadows made the good throw, and then he strikes out those two guys, and then I don't think anyone reached base after that.
Yeah, I was about to say. You know, go ahead.
I don't know how many straight that was, 17 or 18 straight, but yeah, just dominating stuff. Able to throw that slider at any time and the fastball up to 96, and he was really good.
Not only the velocity, but the way he was spotting his pitches too. I mean, he's hitting black inside, outside, up, down, and curveball, slider, everything was like.
Well, on a cold day like today, if you're throwing 96 on the inside part of the plate, the hitters have to get their hands going. They have to start the bat, and that's why that slider was so good, just because those guys, it hurts your hands when it's 96 on your hands, so they had to cheat a little bit to try to get to it, and he was throwing that slider at any time for a strike, and that's really tough to hit.
He said he kind of came in today mad a little bit after what happened last week. How did that benefit him, you know, leading up to the start and, you know, when he was on the mound today?
Well, he's got a chip on his shoulder for sure, and you know, he always feels like he's got something to prove. He wanted to go back out there in the eighth. He doesn't get mad at me, but he gets upset, and he wanted to go back out, and I told him next week we'll go back out. We'll just make sure that we're going to take care of him and keep that pitch count where it was. 86 pitches was where we needed to be with him. Next week we'll be able to go out there and maybe get one more inning out of it, but he's a competitor. I knew he'd have a really good outing today. He's such a hard worker, and you know, he wants to do really well, not only for himself, but for his team and for Georgia. So I knew he'd have a great game.
When he's rolling like he was today, how much confidence does that give the rest of the team, knowing, you know, they don't have to put up a huge number on the score, but you got a guy out there?
Well, it's always nerve-wracking when you look up there. It's 1-0.
Right.
I mean, McGarry threw really well for them, and he kept them in the game. So I was glad when he came out of the game. I was relieved when he came out because he was so good. But, you know, it makes you feel good because you know that he is going to fill up the strike zone. No walks. You know, it's really tough to score against anybody if you're not walking anyone. And our hitters did a really good job as we got later into the game. I think we drew 9 walks, and we're able to get some runs across the board that way.
Not just the patience at the plate, but also looks like they're taking a relaxed approach at the plate as well. I mean, guys are really not trying to do too much. Just put the ball in play.
Well, we just call it grinding at bats out. If you're grinding at bat out, that means you're not swinging necessarily at the first pitch. You know, you're able to go deep in the count. You're able to foul some pitches off. You're able to draw a walk. You're able to do something to make something happen and put some pressure on the defense. And I thought our guys, once we got through about the 5th inning, I thought our guys were much better.
Tucker Bradley, I mean, he's taking 3 hit, 3 RBI game through 5 contests this year. They put him in that 3 hole. You were hoping and expecting, I guess, he was going to become that guy.
He's a really good baseball player, and that was a really tough blow for us last year. You know, we felt like last year he could have been our best player with Aaron Shunk and L.J. Talley and Tucker Maxwell, all the great players that are no longer here that were on that team last year. We felt like Tucker Bradley could be our best baseball player, and it really stunk when he got hurt and missed the season. But I think everyone's seeing what kind of player he can be. He's been waiting for this to happen. He's been waiting for this season to get here, and you know, I'm glad he's playing the way he is. He's a gamer, and you're going to see him on the mound too. You're going to see he's a legit 2-way guy, and he's just a great baseball player.
And you know what you're going to do as far as your game 2 pitcher tomorrow?
Not yet. You know, we've got 4 or 5 options. You've got Childers, you've got Cannon, you've got Polk, you've got Pasqua. You've got all those guys that we can choose from. So we'll talk once we get in the coach's office and kind of figure out what we're going to do. But you know, we feel like we've got a lot of options. It was great to see Logan Moody go out there and give us 2 good innings, and that's 13 guys that have thrown for us so far. And you know, we feel like that we've got a lot of depth.
And Randy got in the bat today. Is he ready to get back on a regular basis, you think?
Yeah, he hit a little bit yesterday, and then he took batting practice today and felt really good. If you saw his bat, it had a little bit of a cushion on his bat. And they've got a lefty going tomorrow, so as long as he wakes up tomorrow morning feeling good, Raina Jernigan's probably going to start tomorrow.
Anything else, Coach?
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep. Thanks.